Hey everyone, welcome back to Next New York 2026. I'm delighted to be joined today by Henry. Henry, welcome. How are you doing? Okay?
Yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, good. Just for the audience, if you could just explain who you are, what you do, and where you come from.
Yeah, I'm from the UK. I'm CEO and founder of Sporting Risk, and we're a provider of sports betting products and services with a particular focus on soccer to providers and operators worldwide.
Great. So we're here in Next New York. We talk a lot about what's coming up next and what the opportunities are and issues that we're facing, have that discussion. What do you think is going to be one of the opportunities or issues facing this industry going forward?
Well, I know obviously prediction markets is the fashionable one, and so you'll have had a lot of people talking about that, so I'm not going to claim that I know more about that or have a completely contrarian view or something to it, but I'll talk about what I know, which is soccer. So World Cup's coming, which is, in my opinion, a massive customer acquisition opportunity for operators. You know, soccer at the moment, it probably ranked number 4 in terms of sports, and you know, given it is the biggest worldwide sport, however, so the fact it's only ranked number 4 in the US, to me, means that there should be a massive opportunity for operators, both in terms of the customer acquisition side, but also just that content engagement and driving further activity on a sport that has got massive room to grow over here.
Yeah, and who do you think is going to win?
Oh God, don't know. Don't put me on the spot on that one. It won't be England, that's for sure.
Yeah, it won't. Although I'm Dutch as well, so I get best of both worlds.
Although having said that, what I would say is a tiny little bit of insight there is that you know, from a tactical perspective, in knockout competition football, Thomas Tuchel's about as sharp as it comes.
Is he?
Do you remember when they were at Chelsea, won the Champions League?
That's right.
Their numbers their numbers in that in the knockout, like the change in their quality of their numbers from league to Champions League was phenomenal. So there's one little edge there. I'm giving a little bit away there. If you're having a punt on an outright market, then maybe there's some value in that.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so is this your first time to New York, Next New York?
To Next New York, yeah. I've been to Next in Malta a couple of times, but yeah, cool. First time to the New York one.
So there's obviously our 5th year, I think, here in the convene here. Interested to know why you sort out Next New York and what we're hoping to get out of it, really.
Well, it's a strong show, I think, for strategic relationship building. So it's a softer environment. You can have sensible conversations with people, and it's also varied. So you've got, like I said, the investment panels, marketing panels. Sure. I was on a panel on the trading room, so getting into the thick of it on you know, some of the detail of the industry. There's been broad conversations about prediction markets, so you get a feel for people's perspective on the industry as it stands, where they think it's going, and also get to have conversations that are not, you know, hard sales or producty and can be more strategic.
Yeah, right. And touching on predictions, fast forward 12 months, we're sitting here. What do you think this year is going to be predominantly remembered for, both maybe from an industry perspective, but also from maybe anything else that's going? Well,
I mean, it'll obviously be remembered for how much prediction markets are disrupting the industry at the moment.
Come in and take up. Nothing else really can come in.
If I knew that, I'd be doing it.
It's quite seismic, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, there's been a seismic shift on that level. I think it will be interesting to see, you know, whether or not, for instance, states that are currently not permitting gambling speed up to do that, and what that does in terms of prediction markets. It'll also be really interesting to see how quickly operators shift to be able to sort of, you know, have feet in both camps as such. You know, there's obviously regulatory implications with the CFTC, so that takes time, but I think it will be remembered very much for, you know, really that changing dynamic between the relationship between operator and consumer because of this sort of disruptor in the form of prediction markets. And hopefully the World Cup being a great success as well. Yeah.
So one final question. The industry is obviously going through a lot, but was there one specific shift that you think the industry is going to face or have in one sentence? We're asking everyone to do it in one sentence, but
for me, I really do think it's got to be focused on, like, giving the customer choice, like moving away from it being, you know, this is what we're presenting on site and this is what you've got, to actually me going on site and saying, I want to do this, I want to select these players and form this bet, which is why you've seen the growth in parlays, but doubling down on that, being able to access more data, more stats to help drive bet selections, and also then be able to select like head-to-head bets and things like that. I think that's where it's moving, and, you know, will continue to move.
Great stuff. Okay, Wilson, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest. Lunch is about to be served, so you probably want to go.
Fantastic. Good time.
Enjoy yourself, and thank you so much for coming.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Sure.
Welcome back to another quick interview here at Next I/O NYC 2026. So I have the great honor of having, who am I having here?
Matt Bressler, the CEO of Audit.
And what
does Audit do?
Yeah, exactly.
So we are the content and context and discovery engine for the sports betting world. So we help casual users who want to find bets actually find bets that are meaningful to them and follow through to place.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Coming into this, what would be one key issue or opportunity that you see in the industry right now that should be addressed more than anything else?
I think this industry's been very focused on how to get players into platforms and less so on how to keep them there and how to make sure that they stay happy and find bets that are meaningful to them and have sort of that full player experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And being here talking to people in the industry and overall, what is it that makes Next I/O here in the NYC, why is it so important for you to be here and representing it?
Next is a very intimate event. It's very small. I'm especially partial to this venue because of the way it's constructed. You bump into your friends, new friends, 5 to 10 times over the course of a conference, and it's key decision makers. So kind of allows you to cut through all of the noise, catch up with old friends, make new ones, and really get a significant amount of business done, which is fairly unique, in my opinion, to the next conference.
That's nice. So having friends also introduce you to new friends and building the network. That's excellent.
Yep.
All right, so looking ahead in the future now, what would you think 2026, being here already now, is going to be defined by for both the sports betting and the gaming industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think that 2026 is going to be about how do prediction markets coexist with sports betting. What does that look like, and what is the overlap of users? I think it's very unclear still. What is the user behavior of a sportsbook customer? What is the user behavior of a prediction market customer? And are they truly different? Are their motivations different? Are they psychologically different? Or is it all sort of the same psyche? And so I think we're going to see a lot more about how that plays out and what the underlying implications ultimately are for the broader industry.
I'm just curious, how do you think it's going to play out?
I think that they're distinct audiences. I think more so than other people have kind of expressed. And I think it's going to be, part of it is regulation and potentially regulation can sometimes hinder distribution and in the player experience and that sort of thing. So I think it's going to be seeing what elements of it are because of regulation and that's hindered things, and what are more like the psychological potential biases or stigmas that may be coming from a betting first lens a user may have, but coming from a trading first lens, they may be more receptive to and ultimately transacting in a similar fashion, but their internal justification and logic for what they're doing being different.
Well, thank you for that. Final question, biggest shift right now in the industry, in one sentence, what would that be?
That's a tough one. I think connectivity of experience in transacting. Yeah. We've seen a full, I guess this isn't one sentence, but we've seen a full interconnectivity between casino, gambling, all the way through people and their 401ks, Whatever that ultimately means remains to be seen, but things that have been classified as betting and not classified as betting are now united in a way that makes us look at what is and isn't a form of betting, I think.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the seat. That was another episode and another interview. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to day 2 of New York Summit. Very happy and delighted to have Paris Smith here. Welcome, Paris.
Thank you.
For the record, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself to everyone here.
So my name is Paris Smith. I've been in the industry for 30 years. I'm a recuperating CEO. And so I have 3 companies that I represent. One is Life Winning, where I do angel investing as well as advising and consulting for leadership and strategy. And then I have Defy the Odds, where I'm a co-founder, and we do a lot of advising, consulting for startups. And then more recently, I'm part of Betting Startups Capital, another angel fund.
Who had their awards last night, but at the start, they were co-branded with
WagerWire.
WagerWire, that's it. WagerWire. How did that go? Were you there? Did you?
Yeah, it was
good?
really nice.
Feeling a bit foggy this morning, or
a little bit foggy, but it's just so exciting not only to see the startups, but also to be able to see all the people that support the startups.
Yeah, great.
That for me was super.
Did they do the ties as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
yes, a black tie.
Good, black tie. Okay, good. So we're here, obviously in New York. Interested to know what's one of the sort of key opportunities you think the industry is facing at the moment, or you think people should be looking out for?
Yeah, I think, the opportunity is obviously predictions.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys. You had a whole day committed to it.
Yeah.
And it was one of the rare times where I'm sitting in the conference room listening to everybody. It was phenomenal content. But with that, if we can just focus on the responsibility that they have to create longevity, and I think if the prediction market community can just be focused on that responsibility, I think the resilience to the product is really going to have a much longer pathway.
Great stuff. And being very biased, you're obviously here in New York at New York Summit. What made you come to this event specifically, and is it, obviously, we hope it's a very important thing for you to come to, and just why did you just choose here?
It's a phenomenal event. You really have an opportunity to interact with people. I've always felt like the Next.io conferences, they're very special. So I typically come to everyone. But I think for this one in particular, the focus, I come anyway, but the focus on the prediction markets, I think is phenomenal. Yeah. But also the dedication and commitment that you also have to the startup community. It brings investors, it brings operators that are intrigued about what's coming, and as I'll touch on shortly, building that ecosystem for startups is something I'm very committed to, and this is a great foundation for that.
Great, and the opportunity coming down the line, is one sort of area that you think we should focus on. What would that be?
I feel,
aside from predictions, that everyone's talking about predictions at the moment.
I feel like for 2026, we're going to see a theme of acquisition.
Oh, really?
Because there's so many companies that are phenomenal. Their tech is amazing, but they're missing the marketing component.
Okay.
And there's no such, marketing departments. Yeah. That's kind of a thing of the past. Yeah. You need a strategy. You need not only a marketing strategy, but a social media strategy. Yeah. And there's so many companies that's all they do. Yeah. And it's going to be very difficult for a company to be able to scale up in the way that these startups have. Yeah. So a number of the startups that I'm dealing with, they're looking at exits because there's a massive need in the market for the expertise that they share. Yeah, great. And in one sentence, how would you sum up this year ahead? This year is going to be opportunity. It's going to be awesome. Awesome opportunities. Awesome opportunities. Great stuff. Well, listen, thank you very much for joining. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you around the show. Thank you. Thanks. Hey everyone, welcome back. We're here at Next New York 2026. I am delighted to be joined by the legendary Kelly Kern. Welcome. Thanks, Rory. For the sake of the audience who wouldn't know you, just give a piece to the camera as to who you are and what you do.
Yeah, no, thanks for inviting me. My name's Kelly Keen. I'm co-founder of Defy the Odds, which is a startup launchpad across gaming, sports tech, and fintech. Great stuff. So welcome to the event. I hope you had a good time. How was yesterday? Was it good? This is one of my favorite events of all time. I really love the chance to get to learn. Oftentimes, I don't get to learn at other conferences. This is why I come to sort of keep my finger on the pulse, and it's really accessible. You get to meet everyone and learn and also network and do everything else, so it's great.
And a lot of people have been talking about the opportunities and issues facing the industry. That's what this event's really about, to talk about that kind of stuff. What one thing or several things do you think that is at the moment in this industry, opportunities or issues?
Key issues, at the risk of saying things probably that will be repeated, obviously predictions is very, very exciting. I think the new game formats that are coming out are also quite exciting. And of course, it's always important to keep a finger on what's happening on the regulatory front. I think we get to hear straight from the people that are in those markets what's happening.
Great. Predictions focused sort of question. Fast forward 12 months, what do you think 2026 is probably going to be remembered for? Specifically one thing or other things?
Well, listen, I think, yes, time is going to tell what happens with predictions. It seems to be growing at a pace we have not seen in gaming. But I think what will be really interesting with the convergence of predictions and AI and regulatory movement is what's going to be built on top of predictions, right? Are we going to gamify it? Are we going to get to new markets? Are we going to allow people who've been building in other markets to come into what we've been doing? And I think that's probably the ultimate shift of how we've opened up to so many things that weren't open to gambling before, and what that does for us will be a hot topic.
One final question, one sentence, the biggest shift you think the industry is going to face?
The biggest shift, I'd say new game formats.
Okay. Why is that? Do you think it's just...
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, we can cut it out.
I think there's going to be new game formats that we will see that we have never thought of. I think we are just opening up, with the opening up of predictions and a more freer regulatory framework. We're going to see a lot more. We're going to get to listen to customers a lot more, give them what they want in the place that they want, and it will result in a lot more innovation.
Great. Well, listen, thank you I know it's very short notice, but thank you for dropping in. I hope you had enjoyed your show. And
I did. Thank you very much for having me.
We're here at NYC Summit in New York 2026. I'm delighted to be joined by Brett Calip. Welcome, Brett.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. My name's Brett Calip. I'm a 21-year gaming entrepreneur, operator, product innovator. I have founded a company just recently called Dando. We're focused on sweepstakes and crypto casino.
Great. So we're here in New York at New York Summit. You've been around. You've been to this event several times now, haven't you? So over the years you've experienced, obviously a few things have been coming out here and there. What is the one thing you think you're looking forward to discussing at this event going forward for the next couple of days?
I think this event's great because it's not only topical as far as what people are talking about, but actually kind of the intimacy of the conference. It's just not a massive conference that you experience other places. It's in this one location. It's a fantastic venue. And you get to see a lot of people and really have like genuine conversations about like things that are important to you versus like running around from like point A to point B to have a meeting where you don't really get to talk to anyone. You just get to like high-five them in the hallway.
Cool. And 2026 obviously brought about a lot about prediction markets or the emerging verticals. We're here today at the emerging verticals event. How do you see that all panning out over the next 12 to 18 months? Do you think it's going to be here to stay? Is it going to be...
I think the industry is ripe for innovation. I think the industry is at a place where we've been a little stagnant for the last couple of years. And so I like to see places where we're focused on what's the future going to hold, what's kind of the next generation of gambling. There's a lot of exciting products coming out. There's a lot of exciting startups that are coming up with new and innovative ways to engage users.
Yeah, and if it's something that people should be like paying a bit more close attention on, one thing in particular, what would that be? Would that be a market-specific area, or would it be something else?
I actually think it'd be something else. So, I mean, like, I think most people sit here and say, like, prediction markets or something like that, right? But actually, as a whole, I think our industry actually needs to look inward.
Okay.
So I think there's this stagnation of culture right now going on in our industry, and I've seen it for the last 2 or 3 years, where it used to be really exciting to be in. We're in the gambling business, right? We're in the entertainment business. At the end of the day, the consumer, they spend their money on going to movies or going to sporting events, or they can choose to spend it with us. And we should be excited about that. We should be excited about the companies we work for. And what I've seen recently over the last few years is a lot of people are just a number. Right? They're just a number, and they're employee 1, 5, 6, 7, 8 at big, huge company, little, small company. Whether you're a company of 5 or a company of 5,000, I think this industry really needs to take a step back and look at culture and how do you build culture? Because there was one time where this industry was high fives and exciting and electric, and it was
so you bring a bit of that back.
I want to bring some of that back. I think as founders and as business leaders, we need to be focused on like how do we build that exciting environment within our companies. And how do we let people kind of be free to explore and innovate, like we're at this conference, of what they're doing within their organization.
And obviously, with being in New York, the sort of shifts that are happening, if I was to ask in one sentence, what do you think that would be? What would be the one shift you think is going to happen over the next year or so?
Look, everyone's wish is that, regulatory environments would clear up, I would say, right? There's a lot of fogginess around all these verticals, whether you're talking about sweeps or you're talking predictions, even real money gaming, right? We would love to see expansion there. I mean, that's always my hope, and I look at the world that way, as opportunistic, and want to see states understand that, look, there's tax revenue to be made. Whether you want to tax prediction, whether you want to tax sweeps, whether you want to tax real money gaming and open up in more states, whether that's sports betting or casino, this is a revenue generating opportunity for states that actually need money. And so I think this is if we could all kind of come together, and there's a lot of fractions in the marketplace too. I mean, I've spent the last decade working with tribes on helping them understand where the opportunities lie within online gaming. You have tribes, you have card rooms, you have horse racing, you have lobbyists in the state itself, and how do all these things kind of come together to say, hey, we can actually create something that's an exciting vertical, that's an innovative vertical, that actually generates tax dollars to help schools and roads and hospitals and things like that. There's opportunity everywhere. And we're talking about the U.S. right now specifically because we're in New York, but if we're talking about globalized regulation in countries that can do the same thing, right? But there's also when I say regulatory environments that we can work into, there's also regular environments that have been really hard on the operators. So there's a balance between, overtaxation and stifling growth just to make money. You can't have that either, because that's short-sighted thinking. Oh, you can grab all this money, but it doesn't allow the businesses to thrive and ultimately make money in the fullness of time, so that you can see that year-over-year increase. Let's face it. Is it going to happen immediately? That's not reality. Predict. But I would like to see over the next several years taking some leaps forward from a global perspective, and looking at how do we operate in a fully liquid, flexible environment would be the most amazing thing. So
you should be a speaker at our event. Oh no, you are.
Oh, I think I am.
Cool. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining.
No,
I appreciate it.
absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of the show, and
Thank
we'll look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Thank you.